Around the SEC, brought to you by Precision Chemical and Equipment. Come check out our selection of Exmark, Yazoo keys, and Dixon zero-turn radius mowers, located 1/2 mile south of Siegen on Airline Highway. The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Dan Mullen says his injured offensive linemen James Carman and Quentin Salisbury will not need surgery after injuries suffered in the loss to Auburn Saturday. Mullen said Salisbury has a sprained knee, but there was a good chance the senior center could return for the LSU game Thursday. Meanwhile, Carman suffered a leg injury in the second quarter. He's their starting left tackle. He was on crutches in the second half. His backup is a redshirt freshman named Blaine Clausell, 6'7", 295. That could be interesting to watch, especially with LSU's formidable pass rush.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Another week, another injury to a key Georgia linebacker. Christian Robinson will miss at least a couple of games with a foot injury that he sustained in Saturday's loss to South Carolina. That injury coming 1 week after Alec Ogletree broke his foot in the season opener. That leaves Georgia without both of their starting inside linebackers, compounding the problem. Inside linebacker was probably the thinnest position area on Georgia's defense coming into the season. Mark Richt said moving Richard Samuel back from tailback to linebacker or moving Jarvis Jones from outside to inside, not wise options at this point.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas, speaking of injuries, had 3 of its key players go down Saturday when they battered New Mexico. Tyler Wilson left the game with concussion-like symptoms. Receiver Jarius Wright suffered a knee strain, and defensive end Jake Beckett injured his hamstring. Now, the Hogs have another game at home next week that they're going to be heavily favored in when Troy comes to Fayetteville. But then it's on to Tuscaloosa for the 4th week of the season. Those 3 injuries could play a huge factor if those guys don't heal quickly. We'll keep an eye on it.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Break up the doors. Vandy showing that the quickest path to turning around a football program could be by creating turnovers. Through 2 games, Vanderbilt is ranked 6th nationally in takeaways with 7. Only South Carolina has more among SEC teams. Vanderbilt welcomes Ole Miss in the JP Special this Saturday. That is, of course, the 11:21 kickoff. Might as well just set that thing in stone. You know where it's going to be every year. Also, James Franklin said an X-ray and MRI came back fine on starting tight end Brandon Barden, who left the UConn game with a sprained ankle, was seen on crutches and in a walking boot in the second half. The extent of the sprain and his status are undetermined, though, at this point.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
After racking up a career-high 405 passing yards along with 4 touchdown passes Saturday, Tyler Bray has been named SEC Offensive Player of the Week, the first Vol to garner that honor since Jonathan Crompton back in 2009. Bray has completed at least 2 touchdown passes in 8 consecutive games. That's the longest current streak by any quarterback in the SEC and the longest in Tennessee history, even more than Peyton Manning.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And for all of his accomplishments, Kentucky linebacker Danny Trevathan had never intercepted a pass in a college game. Now, he's an All-American candidate, and he fixed that in the second quarter of Kentucky's win over Central Michigan Saturday. Trevathan jumped a slant route, picked off Central Michigan quarterback Ryan Radcliffe, and then he appeared to be headed for his first college touchdown, but instead, Trevathan was pulled down at the Central Michigan 11-yard line by Radcliffe. Trevathan said afterward, quote, "I got tripped, man. I think he's been doing linebacker drills. He got a tackle on me. I didn't get a tackle on him." Either way, Danny Trevathan had to be tickled with his first career interception. Also had 13 tackles in the game, his 11th straight double-figure tackling game. Fantastic All-American candidate there in Lexington, Danny Trevathan. There you have it. That is Around the SEC.